Terror Twins 2-Minute Tales presents Annabelle, Devils on the Run, Part 2, The House and the Cane Fields. Evangeline Rousseau lived with her parents in an old farmhouse surrounded by rustling cane fields, just past the edge of town where the mosquitoes thickened and the air never felt quite clean. The house was quiet most days. Her father worked offshore, and her mother worked double shifts at the diner in town. That left Evangeline with too much time and too few friends. Belle became her constant companion. At first, things seemed innocent. Evangeline brushed the doll's matted hair, changed her soot-streaked dress, and whispered secrets to her late at night. Belle always sat at the edge of her bed, hands folded primly in her lap. She never moved. Until she did. The first night, Evangeline woke up to find Belle facing the wall. She didn't remember placing her like that, but maybe she was half asleep. The next morning, Belle was waiting at the kitchen table. Evangeline asked her mother if she'd move the doll. Her mother didn't even know the doll existed. Over the following days, Belle's movements grew bolder. She'd be found in closets, perched on top of the fridge, sitting beside the family dog's empty crate, after he'd run off barking into the night, never to return. Then came the shadows. Dark smudges moved along the corners of Evangeline's bedroom. The air turned icy cold whenever the doll was near. The smell of smoke began to waft through the hallways, though nothing was burning. At school, Evangeline became withdrawn and hostile. She bit another girl. She spoke in a voice too low for her age. Her drawings grew grotesque, images of burning houses, screaming faces, and a woman with black eyes standing over a little girl in bed. At home, her mother began to hear scratching beneath the floorboards. Once, she woke up with a nosebleed and deep scratches down her arm. She blamed the stress, the long shifts, the grief of a crumbling marriage. But at night, she'd pass by Evangeline's room and hear her talking in two voices, one hers, the other older, cruel. Belle never blinked, but her head was always slightly turned by morning, always looking somewhere new. The sugar bowl shattered one evening, and on the counter, spelled out in spilled grains, was a single word: stay. The final straw came when Evangeline disappeared for 2 hours. She was later found barefoot in the field, dress soaked in marsh water, holding Belle tight against her chest and humming an old Cajun funeral tune no one had taught her. The next day, her mother made the call. She didn't dial the police. She called a number she'd been given years ago during a roadside psychic reading, a number for emergency paranormal containment services. She didn't think it would work, but the Warren Foundation answered. To be continued.